If you're looking for a perfect everyday bag that is light, durable, versatile, and hip for the summer, don't miss out on the newest addition to the Knack Bag family of products, the Knack Sling Bag.
Yes, in a season full of ugly bucket hats, bootleg t-shirts, and board shorts, the Knack Sling Bag will make you the talk of the beach. It's everything you need in a fanny pack, but improved in a million different ways. It's lightweight, endlessly expandable, and stylish as all get out. Yes, indeed, the Knack Sling Bag is the perfect companion for every adventure.
Check out the link in the description to order yours with free shipping on all orders. Thanks to our friends at Knack for sponsoring this episode. If you get a Knack bag, don't forget to post it on social and tag us at ETB Sports. We want to see you enjoying your Knack bag.
This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
After Cleveland's successful 2020 season, they exercised that fifth-year option, which means they're stuck with Mayfield this season, whether they like it or not.
Nick Morgeson. I could say the same thing for Deshaun Watson, where he could write a book, say, this is how I would have done the sexual assaults, but maybe I didn't do them, or I'm just going to lie and say I didn't do it. And Nick Federa.
It's Sherlock Holmes over there at the NFL league office going to come up with something that's actually going to fit the seriousness of what Deshaun Watson is being accused of.
Empty the Bench starts now.
The milkshake has been peed in. That's the problem.
Welcome to episode 138 of Empty the Bench. Tom Albano here along with Nick Federa, Nick Morgeson, and our peed-in milkshakes. Yeah.
Yes, it's a real pisser of an episode today, folks.
See, you knew I wasn't going to let that one go by.
Of course.
I was, this is not how I want summer to start off. I don't want summer with a milkshake that's impeded. But you know what? We were going to have an episode with, the real dog days of summer with baseball and all. And the NFL over the last 24, 48 hours has just come crawling in saying, nope, we're going to have the top spotlight again.
So, for those of you who are unaware, we've spent the last couple of weeks talking about a certain beleaguered quarterback by the name of Deshaun Watson.
Well, before we go there, let's just make sure we tell everybody where to find us. Find us on ETB Sports across all social media platforms. And also, actually, I can't even show that bag because that's our old product. We actually just did, if you watched the beginning of the episode, we have a new Knack ad. We have a new product coming out, the Knack Sling Bag. So if you look in the description, we replaced the description as well. If you go to our link in the description box below, and you order the new Knack Sling Bag, half the price point as well. It's a really nice bag if you're looking for a sling as well.
Plus, free shipping.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that. Free shipping is always a good thing.
Free shit, yeah. It's always
I love Knack. Ever since we've started partnering up with Knack, I've been taking the Knack bag with me to work, and it makes things so much easier. It's nice and light, travelable. And, it looks stylish and just overall really love them.
So, Nick,
what can finally break free of the clutches of the Jansport Mafia.
Hey, Nick, what have you put in the bag lately?
Does a sub sandwich count?
What?
Does a sub sandwich count?
I guess. I was going to say, are we going to put Deshaun Watson in the bag? Because I think he needs to be shut up.
I mean, if we're trying to find him a place to hide, I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to hide him. So just running down, we're going to have some NBA Finals recap. We will talk about the Colorado Avalanche just putting a beating on the Edmonton Oilers to advance to the Stanley Cup. Lots of baseball as well, from Jim Kaat to Max Scherzer, from Francisco Lindor to Miguel Andujar. A couple of firings in Girardi and Joe Maddon. The Dodgers and seemingly unable to know the rules of baseball. I don't know if anybody knows the rules at this point.
It's a good old Rob Manfred moment.
What are the rules? As they used to sing in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh god.
So we have a large show, so let's just get to it.
Well, the reason we're gonna have a large show is gonna be this. So,
oh, God.
As I said during our promo for this week, everyone's going to have a happy ending except for Deshaun Watson. Everyone's going to live happily ever after.
ladies and gentlemen, just in case you were wondering, the New York Times put out another article. I think it was just yesterday. The Jenny Vrentis did.
Yes.
Where they talked about she actually in detail all the 66 different women who have supposedly massaged him. I hesitate to use the term worked on him because of the connotation, but 24, it turns out, of the 66 are the ones who are suing him. There are others who alleged misconduct, to say the least, but aren't suing him. However, the thing that this story is what it reveals is the conduct that Deshaun was engaging in was a lot more sordid, screwed up, and the Texans probably knew about it.
Oh, they've known about this from the time he's probably entered the league.
So where do we want to start with this, gentlemen? We have three angles. We have Deshaun with the 24th lawsuit. We have this New York Times article. We have Rusty Hardin. And, well, maybe the football angle as well for a potential fourth angle.
Actually, you want to include another angle, 230 million reasons to figure out what's going on as well.
I include that as part of the fourth.
I don't know where to start. This whole story is nuts. And Nick said it last week when we had the 23rd case that when you're matching the number of Michael Jordan, that's not exactly a good thing. Just saying.
And now you've matched the number of Kobe Bryant. Well, one of his numbers. Yeah,
you really, really, really don't want to do that. Now, I'm not. I don't feel like it's an appropriate venue to discuss the lurid details of what Deshaun Watson is accused of doing to these women while he was getting massaged, quote unquote.
He was looking for sex. Let's just admit the fact.
This is obviously a fetish for him.
No, no, you're being too nice. The fetish. Anyone can have a fetish.
By the way, that doesn't make it okay.
No. But I'm saying in technicality, anyone could have a fetish.
Yes.
As long as you do it.
Anyone can have a fetish, but what he did was sexual harassment, sexual assault in some cases.
He was looking for sex. Let's just say what the facts are. That's it.
I mean, this 24th lawsuit, I'm trying to figure out a way to say the details without going too much into them. I love what Nick said before, but you had like a requesting of a small towel, having the massage start.
We all know what that means. He's trying to show off. That's what it means.
Directing hands to places.
To the groin area.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of situations of unwanted arousal, and that's all I'll say. But I don't even know where to begin with this. But
you know where to begin? Deshaun Watson is a fuck up. That's what Deshaun Watson is.
I mean, I really don't see. We mentioned before that. You've got 200 something million reasons to find out what went wrong. I really don't think anybody in the NFL has an incentive to get this one right. Now,
wait a minute. There is a reason the NFL needs to get this right, because Calvin Ridley for gambling got suspended for a year, and Deshaun Watson, who allegedly committed 24 sexual assaults, we're not even talking about a suspension.
Yes, I agree with you. It's not a matter of if he will get suspended, but how long is he going to get suspended?
Guys, look at me. There's a few more we're almost done, but there's a few more details we gotta figure out. We gotta see this.
Let me just get my magnifying glass. Let me just go over the details of the fine-tooth comb. Let me just take everything that Deshaun Watson said at face value, just interview him once, and then take the deposition. And hey, job well done, guys. Let's order lunch. And
you know what's funny about this also, and I struggle to say that word because there's nothing funny about this. Deshaun Watson is smarter than we make him out to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the reason I say that is because it took this long for 24 cases to come out of the woodworks. And all of a sudden, Roger Goodell has finally said, oh, well, we finally finished our investigation. But I heard it on the radio over the past couple of days. that they had to go back and talk to them. So obviously your investigation is not over.
Obviously, there are some steps that you intentionally skipped, and I hate to be cynical about this, but I'm waiting out the clock to it's a countdown clock to when Roger Goodell will screw this up, because not only do you have to there have to be some punitive measures in case of Deshaun Watson, but I think now that we know that the Texans, the head of security for the Texans, supplied him with NDAs he could give to the women that he was accusing of, that
all right, let's go. Let's go to that angle then. Now let's move on to that angle. The New York Times story that dropped over the last 24 hours from Jenny Vrentis, in which two grand juries declined to charge him criminally. The NFL is still investigating. I'll take some bits and pieces from her story. The New York Times examination of records includes depositions and evidence of the civil lawsuits, interviews of the women. The Times' review showed that Watson's conduct was enabled, knowing or not, by the team he played for at the time, the Houston Texans, which provided the venue Watson used for some of the appointments. A team representative also furnished him with a non-disclosure agreement after a woman who is now suing him threatened online to expose his behavior. The Texans have obviously not responded as of the time of us talking here to any of these new allegations from the New York Times.
Gee, I wonder why they haven't responded, because what they're doing at this point is basically saying, we're wiping our hands of this.
Or at least, that's what they would do. But if I was Jimmy Haslam, I'd be hiding in a cardboard box right now.
All right, here we go. Keep going. The 66 women, Nick, you were given some details, include the 24 who have sued him, including 2 who filed suits within the last week, and in one in which the most recent suit, the woman said Watson did something during the massage.
Did things.
The things. A woman who sued but then withdrew the complaint because of, quote, privacy and security concerns. 2 women who filed criminal complaints against Watson but did not sue him. At least 15 therapists who issued statements of support for Watson at the request of his lawyers and gave him massages during that period. At least 4 therapists from a massage therapy group that was contracted with the Texans called Genuine Touch. 5 women identified by the plaintiff's lawyers during the investigation for their civil suits, and at least 15 other women whose appointments with Watson were confirmed through interviews and records reviewed by the Times.
Now, there is no way, none at all, that he would have been able to get away with this as long as he did, and it stretches back to at least before the pandemic, I think, in the story.
Basically that he was looking for. Oh, here it is. It's not clear when he began looking for so many different women to give him massages. Rusty Hardin says his client needed to book appointments, quote, ad hoc when the coronavirus pandemic began, though Watson began working with numerous women before them. They actually include a conversation between Tony Busby and Deshaun Watson himself, probably from some court exchange. And they even have, a woman alleging with actually having a DM conversation with Deshaun Watson.
That's the messages.
Watson saw that the woman was a massage therapist and sent a message asking for an appointment. As they struggled to work out a time, Watson told her, quote, just trying to, TRYNA, trying to support Black businesses, a message he repeated later.
That's ridiculous. Why the fuck would you say that?
Because he's able to get away with it because, people really tend not to believe black women. People really tend not to believe black women in anything, and I don't know why. I know why, but
Nick, sexual assault doesn't have a color.
Yes, absolutely, and it really does. It really does seem like this was one of the things he was very multicultural on. But you know what? And I'm reading that statement, that disgusting piece of the article that you're talking about, that apparently he was begging for one of them to put their mouth on something.
Yeah.
The
You.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I'm continuing my thing. The woman told Watson she wanted to keep things, quote, professional and respectful. Quote, almost definitely always professional, he texted. Quote, I even have a NDA I have therapists sign too. He, in this case, was referring to the NDA he had received just days earlier from a member of Texans security staff. Watson didn't explain in the text how the woman would benefit from signing a document meant to protect him.
By the way, and people are kind of ignoring this, the Texans are fully responsible for this. They are
whether they knew about it or not.
Again, that's what it emphasized in the Times, whether they knew about it or not.
But I'm saying this started within the walls of the stadium at NRG Stadium, I think is the name of it, and the Texans. It started there. If the Texans are going to come out and deny it and not talk, that is incriminating themselves by not talking.
Well, what do you think this reflects poorer on? The Houston Texans or the Browns for having traded for him, yet probably knowing most, if not all, of these details?
I would say it's worse on the Texans because they could have spoken up earlier and said that there was an issue going on. The Browns, on the other hand, could play the card that they didn't 100% know what was going on beforehand.
I find that a little hard.
No, I said they could. I said they could.
I disagree. No, time. I disagree. Because maybe the Browns didn't know all of these details, but the Browns knew when they traded that we had at least 22 pending lawsuits against Deshaun Watson.
But I'm saying that...
And they still gave him all that money, $230 to be the highest paid NFL player.
And you've heard me make statements last week that I said that the contract is insane. But at the same time, the Texans could have spoken up. They chose not to. They chose to take the I'm a scaredy cat route because I don't want my reputation being destroyed, because that's what Roger Goodell and the NFL are known best for.
Which your reputation was already in the toilet, so it really couldn't go any further down the drain. So
I mean, you could compare this to any other situation you want. You could compare this to Michael Vick and the Dogs with the Falcons for how long that was hidden. Or the John Gruden situation with all the racist emails and comments they hid. The NFL has a track record of hiding everything, and once someone exposes it, that's when it becomes a problem.
They are essentially they're sweeping this under the rug. Or at least they're trying to. Or
Dust bunny.
Yeah, it's the dust bunny method. Just sweep it under the rug, put the rug down, and then just walk out of the room and never speak of it again.
Yeah, but the problem is they accidentally stepped on the dust bunny and killed it when they walked out.
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, I'm just counting down the clock until Roger Goodell.
But the other issue,
you want to prove me wrong, Roger? You want to prove me wrong?
No,
get this one right.
Roger's out of chances. He's done.
I dare you to make me eat my words, Roger.
No, forget that. Roger's out of chances. He had the opportunity when this happened in Texas to figure this situation out and get in front of it. And since it's made its way all the way to the Browns, where it's a PR nightmare across the whole league, that 24 women have come out and sued, and reportedly by the New York Times, there's 66 women. Roger Goodell's out of chances. It's over.
Which means watch very closely what the Browns do.
Nothing.
You could argue he's been out of chances when the NFL hasn't really improved its domestic violence game over the last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
You could say this was a problem before Roger Goodell with domestic violence. They haven't figured it out. There we go. That's good.
I decided to change it. Good old. It does not suit him in this case. It should be Roger Goodell strikes again.
Yes. That is so perfect.
But you know what? Instead of Deshaun Watson's initials standing for his name, it should stand for Dickweed. That's what it should stand for.
Congratulations, Dickweed.
There you go. I did it for you. If I could find where my sound effect is, I'm so mad.
There you go.
So, Rusty Hardin.
Let's talk about him because he now needs to be dragged into this as well.
Rusty Hardin should be fired and never be allowed to practice law ever again.
Disbarred, you mean?
Whatever. Disbarred. Well, I could say I've dealt with someone who should have been disbarred in my last job, but that's an issue.
I ain't even touching that one with a 10-foot pole, guy.
I'm not touching that one with a 39.5 one. Again, it's not even Christmas time.
Right. But my point is I've dealt with people who should have been disbarred for the amount of shit they've done in the media.
He said that he actually was on record as saying that happy endings are not illegal. Which, way to read the room there, Hardy.
No, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Rusty Hardin thinks he lives in a fairy tale.
Well, yeah. Apparently it's all 24-hour hand job and cupcake marathon.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't get it. I mean, a happy, you know what? Why am I even dignifying this, trying to,
you know what? You can.
Why am I even trying? It's a stupid thing to say.
I wish I could have. I wish I could have put it in
you morons.
I wish I could have put it in a different way on the banner, but there's no other way to.
You know what? You can.
There's no other way.
You know what? You can include craft services as well.
Exactly.
Hey, what punishment did he get?
None.
Nothing. What punishment has Dan Snyder gotten?
Nothing.
Because it's just a bunch of low-key high fives from the other decrepit owners who wish they were him.
All right. So, gentlemen, let's end with this. He has to be suspended, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It shouldn't even be a question. He is going to be suspended. That's not. It shouldn't even be a question.
For how long? How long?
Yeah, it's a question. I
mean, he's got to be suspended for at least all of 2022, right?
I mean, that's what I would do, but again, I don't run the NFL. I'm just sitting here in the balcony screaming at them. So I that's what I would do. But
no, yeah. You know what? We're being too soft on Deshaun Watson at this point. Deshaun Watson should never be allowed to play in the NFL again. I'm sorry, 24 sexual assaults?
I don't know if anybody would go for that.
Nick, 24 sexual assaults.
Yes, I understand, but
again,
it's a matter of what NFL. You can get them to agree to.
This is the NFL. We have had players who have had murder accusations continue to play.
So really, the problem is with the NFL.
Yeah, but anything else. I'm going to go back to my point I made before. If Calvin Ridley got a year for gambling, what does Deshaun Watson get for 24 alleged?
I've seen an argument. There was a Bills fan that either I follow or somebody that I know on Twitter follows, and I just get there. You know, when somebody likes that, somebody arguing that he should get 2 years.
Should get more than 2 years.
If we're going down that route, a year is that's the bar. That's the bar.
Now there have also been talks about can the Browns void the contract at this point, and I'm going to tell you there's an issue with that. Again, as much as the Texans enabled the behavior, according to the New York Times, the Browns knew there were lawsuits going on when they traded 3 first-round picks for him.
Well, first of all,
at this point,
the Browns.
What?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, at this point, the Browns have traded 3 first-round picks, made them the highest-paid quarterback. Yeah, or at least something. They're going to see this to the end with all they put in.
They're going to have to swallow it.
Now, we're talking about the Texans enabling the behavior.
I was about to say bad choice of words, Nick.
Swallow the shit. I mean.
Okay, bad choice of words. Still.
Now, the Texans have enabled the behavior. We have this report. Would they void any or all of that contract if the NFL came in and said, okay, Houston, for this one or two of these first round picks, we're taking away now?
I mean,
the thing is, I don't expect the NFL to do that.
I don't expect the NFL to do that. I expect that the Texans would fight that tooth and nail because they probably, like you said,
they can argue that we didn't fully know.
Yeah, they can do. I'm sorry, I was hit in the head with a large object. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That's what it is.
No evil.
Well.
It's like you do in the YMCA. You do that more. You do that so often. Oh God!
I mean, but the thing is, I could see, and I hate making this joke, but the Texans speak no English. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like I was hitting the head with a heavy object. I can't remember anything before 1983.
The problem is, I think Roger Goodell's been in a giant coma because he hasn't paid attention since he's become the commissioner of the sport.
The Houston Texans.
Houston,
To the Oilers.
Houston, we have a problem, a major problem.
And to think, Bill O'Brien had really screwed up that team right before the pandemic, and now we got two franchises that are just basically screwed.
You know what?
Thanks to Deshaun Watson.
I don't know if I can even blame Bill O'Brien as much anymore.
I said, and now we got two. No, I said, and now we have two franchises screwed because of Deshaun Watson.
Oh, good choice of words there too.
You know what he meant. You know what I meant too. Stop it.
I'm just saying this whole situation is a mess, and
It
I
is-
don't care.
yes, it is a
I
mess.
will shit on Deshaun Watson, and I mean insulting Deshaun Watson for years.
Go
And-
ahead. We can't. We're not gonna. He's not gonna be able to see any.
Yeah, he
of
can't
this.
see it. He blocked us.
Well, we have other accounts that can still see it.
He blocked you.
He blocked you. So either you're going to create a legion of sock puppets, or besides, why would you waste time doing that?
Because it's just a spectator sport for me at this point. Because Deshaun Watson is the dumbest player in the NFL.
Owning him harder than you could ever.
No, my point is, I think Deshaun Watson is the dumbest athlete in the NFL, dumbest player in the NFL.
I'm not gonna comment on that. But
Nick,
again,
you're missing your cues for sound effects.
Am I? Which one do you want?
surprised me.
You were blocked.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. You're right. This one. God, I don't know. There's no winning. There's no win in this situation. The NFL can't win. Deshaun can't win. The Texans can't win. The
And
Browns.
fans lose.
Oh my god! Everybody loses. Nobody lives happily ever after, Rusty.
Yes, thank you. It's not a happy ending. It's a killing spree ending. It's one of the most depressing endings you've ever seen.
And it's just gonna be even more. It's just gonna be even more infuriating once they don't suspend him for the season.
Oh god!
Watch.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Watch. He's not going to get any games.
If he does not get any games, if he does not get anything, not get any games, I might explode. You might see a Tom Albano explosion.
You're gonna see a epic proportions explosion from this show.
In fact, if that happens, I'll bring a seismometer onto the show to measure just how big of an explosion it'll be.
You might actually have to bring the Dr. Phil disguise
Don't give it
outfit.
away.
No, I'm just saying because no.
Dr. Phil is not the appropriate doctor. We need a scientist for this.
Yeah, we need an actual professor.
I guess. I mean,
Nick, you can be a professor.
oh God, no.
Why? Nick Pateric's you make a great professor.
What? You've never been called egghead before?
Oh God. All right, let's move on from this, please.
Okay. Nick Morganson, give us an NBA Finals update. This Celtics Warriors series all tied up at 1.
So you brought it up again in your minute. I said it on last show that Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart need to come out and have huge games if they're going to compete in this series.
And in game one, the Celtics did something that I have to say maybe, at least in recent NBA history, one of the most strongest performances ever, at least in terms of a fourth quarter.
Yes, and I was surprised that the Warriors kind of like fell asleep at the wheel in the fourth quarter, just like they just were not interested in a home game of sorts, which kind of confused me. And then we come out in game 2 where the Warriors are like one of the best teams in the playoffs after coming off a loss. And they just said, you know what? We're going to totally destroy the Celtics in game 2 and win 107-88. Now, everyone's questioning in game 2 whether Draymond Green should have been ejected way earlier in that game for the amount of techs he probably should have gotten. He got one technical in the first half. Probably should have got another one when Jaylen Brown just decided to be like tower over Draymond Green, who was laying on the ground, which was probably one of the funniest moments I ever saw. But this series, like I said, the Warriors are going to win in 6. This might actually go 7.
It very well could, but I don't know why the Celtics thought that the Warriors were just gonna. It really does seem like they thought that this was gonna be easy. That the Warriors were just gonna lay down and die, and that is absolutely not the case. As long as they have Steph Curry and Draymond Green working in some kind of tandem in some kind of efficacy, it's going to work.
Well, Klay Thompson has looked awful through 2 games. Like
They're going. You misunderstand what I'm saying. They are going to be competitive as long as those two are on the court for the Warriors.
Well, Draymond Green plays more of the Rasheed Wallace role out on the court, where he might not be out there to score, but he's going to antagonize everybody out on the court.
Which serves its purpose. It always does.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that the series is moving to Boston for 2 games, well, it's 1-1, so we're definitely going to get at least one more game in Golden State. How many do you see Boston taking at home? Because the Warriors were in control of Game 1 at home until, like you said, they fell asleep at the wheel, and then Game 2, I mean, Tatum in 6 points.
I think the Warriors could at least take one game in Boston.
Oh, they're going to. They're going to. It's not.
They can absolutely take one game in Boston.
I mean, I think I read a stat that so far in the playoffs, from this point in time, the Celtics at home are 5-4. 5-4. So obviously, even though they have home field advantage, they took it by winning a game in Golden State. I see Golden State taking it back, at least getting at least one.
The fact that you say that, the 5-4 stat, I could honestly see. I could see this now 2-2. I could see this one more in Golden State and at least one more in Boston.
If it gets to 2-2, I think Golden State still has the advantage going into the end of the series.
Agreed. And let me put it this way, because I did say Golden State in 5. Let me add this. If Golden State wins both games in Boston, this series is over.
I agree with you. I think that it depends on the Warriors need to come out and play better offensively. They've kind of been inconsistent on that side of the ball. Boston needs to come out. Tatum needs to have a full game. Al Horford, who was great in Game 1, kind of disappeared. Marcus Smart disappeared. You're going to get the Defensive Player of the Year stats out of him, but if he doesn't put up anything offensively, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle big time. You can't combine for 6 points in Game 2. It doesn't work.
You can't combine for not just a Game 2 in any NBA Finals game. Any NBA postseason game.
I said it in the minute the other night that if Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, and who was the other person?
Jason Tatum?
And Jason Tatum. No, it was 3 players we talked about: Al Horford, Robert Williams, and someone else. I can't remember. And Smart. 3 players. If they combine for 6 points again in this series, they should just pack their bags up and go home. That's it. They should go home if they combine for 6 points in a game again. They're not going to win.
I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens. But in terms of hockey, the Colorado Avalanche have swept aside the Edmonton Oilers and one of the best players in the NHL today. So to win the Western Conference Finals handily, I don't think Edmonton didn't even have a chance.
Well, here's the thing. Edmonton had a lead going to the third quarter of Game 4, and they pissed
it away. That's the only plausible
explanation. The problem I say with choking or pissing it away is Colorado is just that good. I said that their offense was scary heading into the conference.
I guess, and I'm fully and I am considering that, but against a goalie that is not wet cardboard, I wonder what the Avalanche can do, because they can't be. I mean, they're pretty much invincible right now. I mean, and believe me, they do scare the bejesus out of me. But I do want to know what would happen against a Vasilevsky or an Igor Shesterkin.
The problem with that is, Igor. We've seen Igor have a game or two of struggle. I think back to the Penguin series of that in the first round, where a couple of times he had to be replaced by Grigoriev. Lightning's goalie, Vasilevsky, he has not looked strong in this
He's
Eastern
not
Conference
really looked that
Finals.
good. I mean, as soon as the Rangers found out you could go off the high right blocker. I mean, they were
And I
pushing
think
it all night.
And I think, if it's the Tampa Bay Lightning heading into heading into the Stanley Cup Finals with the Colorado Avalanche, I see all of the Avs offensive players. I see them taking advantage of that, just shooting it up and getting it past them. And I think it's going to be, if it's Avalanche Lightning, it's going to be a nightmare for the Lightning. They're not going to get a third straight.
And I mean, but if it's Rangers Avalanche,
that's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be very tough for the Rangers, but I think they are the tougher matchup.
But the Eastern Conference Finals are still ongoing as we are recording this.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rangers missed out on a chance to take a commanding 3-0 lead and dropped the game 3 in Orlando.
So there's still the chance that this could be a 7-game series.
There's still a chance that this could be a series, ladies and gentlemen, which I pretty much expected. I want them to at least win one game in Tampa. They can win one game in Tampa, they'll be sitting pretty.
Well, here's the thing. Even if they do win, I agree with you, because I think, you could have this could be a five-game series, at least as we're talking. But the issue you're going to have, everyone will point out, the Rangers were down 3-1 in the first round with the Penguins, and look what happened.
And they came back, and they did it with the Hurricanes too.
They came back from 2-0, and we're talking about the defending two-time Stanley Cup champions.
Like I said, it's not going to be easy. The Lightning can still, they are still very good. They are still very capable of winning this series.
Absolutely. I just think so far, if the Lightning do come from behind and defeat the Rangers in this conference final, saddens me to say that, but it is the possibility. You're talking about the weaknesses Vasilevsky is showing, and I think the Avalanche and their top shooters, their powerful offense that I said was scary heading into this conference final, even heading into this playoffs, I think they'll take full advantage of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Vasilevsky will have to up his game even more.
It's going to be like a shooting gallery.
Are you still on your prediction, though, Nick, from last week?
Yes, I still believe.
You're still on the Rangers in 7? And the Stanley Cup?
Both series?
Yeah, I still believe that.
Wow.
All right, gentlemen.
Why are you guys looking at me like I got two heads?
No,
You're supposed to be a Ranger fan, Tom.
I am. It's just, man, I'm just thinking the Game 7 of a Stanley Cup with the Rangers in it. I don't know if my heart could take that.
Yes, I understand. And I understand that I am not in peak physical condition, so it may actually cause me to have a coronary. But I believe.
That might be entertaining for podcasting content.
Look, playoff hockey and fat guys don't mix.
Let's get out of the other sports now. Let's get out of the sadness of that depressing lawsuit. Let's get out of playoff stuff. It's time to talk some baseball now. A lot of baseball to talk about on this show, despite all the time we've had so far.
Baseball?
So, yes, talking baseball. And we start with it never ends, gentlemen.
Like me and didn't realize that Jim Kaat was actually still calling games.
83 years old.
Not alone.
83 years old, by the way. It's still in the Twins booth. When I saw this, I was just like, all right, like Jim Kaat's 83 years old, and maybe he obviously comes from a different time when broadcasting and media and stuff was in a different place. But I understand Cortes came out and said he's not offended.
Well, I was going to add one thing, Nick. So the nickname is Nestor Molester. So also in Kaat's time, molester meant something else.
Molester meant to bother somebody. So Nestor the botherer is what he meant to say.
Okay, but
with time, this is not that we don't live. This is not 1937. We're not coming to you live from the Victrola. No. We're on the internet now.
This is not acceptable behavior. I don't care if he said that he's not offended by it. It's not acceptable behavior.
I mean, if Nestor had been offended by it, if he had actually said, okay, that if he had actually made something out of it, then I would say yeah. Then he needs punitive measures are warranted. But seeing as how Nestor was like, no harm, no foul.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
No,
You're saying that this is not that this is okay?
it's not acceptable. He
It's
should
not
still get
acceptable,
talked to.
but first of all, we should add context is necessary because because Kaat reached out to Nestor Cortes and apologized.
So what? So he apologized. We've seen people lose their careers over doing something like this.
Yes,
I understand. But that's when offense is taken. Nestor Cortes has not taken offense.
Yes, if he took offense and if he was criticizing Jim Kaat for it, then I would have said, yeah, but I'm not going to white knight for Nestor Cortes when Nestor Cortes is not offended by it. I'm not going to be offended on his behalf.
You can't be the PC for police for somebody who says this is not a big thing.
Yeah, especially the person who was the unintentional target of it. Yes, it was a bad name. Yes, it was absolutely despicable. It was absolutely. I mean, it was kind of disgusting in the moment, but again, I can't be offended on behalf of Nestor Cortes.
Do you understand that there's also a nationality issue here, though?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, it's not because of the mustache. The mustache makes him look. The mustache makes him look like Mario, which is always a good thing. But
wow. My point is that okay, so he wasn't offended, but any other person of that nationality could be offended.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why I don't get why you're saying because
okay, but Nick, let me play devil's
advocate. In this specific case.
Let me play devil's advocate. I know this is crossing sports and crossing commissioners and crossing, on the field and off the field, but we're just talking all about Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. Imagine Jim Kaat, even at 80 and after all the career that he had, loses his career for this, but Deshaun Watson doesn't get anything for all these legal things. That's not exactly fair.
Oh no, I agree with you. Then that's a given. Obviously,
punishment is not exactly as commensurate with the crime. Is his point?
No, I'm saying that's a given. First of all, Deshaun Watson should get a punishment above everybody else. That's not a dispute here. The dispute here is that everyone is letting this go like it was like a joke when it really wasn't.
So fine him. So suspend him one game. But I'm not going to. Because Nestor Cortes did not have a problem, and it seems like Kaat meant it when he apologized to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't.
Jim Kaat had said, if he'd put out a statement saying, you people are easily offended, and that's not what I meant. You beta cucks or something like that, or then that would be a different story.
This isn't like This isn't like Tom Brenneman getting caught on the hot mic with the
they're making the blessed moment where Nick Castellanos created the eternal meme.
You know what? This is missing a home run to left by Nick Castellanos. That's what this is missing.
But it's not like that where that obviously did not come for because that was bigoted. That was bigoted what he said. And as much as he tried to song and dance his way out of it, I mean, we could see the intention behind those words.
But when did we get to?
He wasn't sure if he was going to put this headset on for the Reds or his broadcasters at Fox.
But when did we get to a point where saying something was okay as long as the person that we went after just said, "Oh, it's not a big deal"? When did we get to that point?
When we reached the age of 7, that's what. If we apologize, then it's okay, but you got to mean it.
I don't know. I'm not agreeing with this.
And again, Cortes doesn't take offense. Believe me, I understand, but Cortes doesn't take offense.
So can anyone? Wait a minute. Can anyone do that then? As long as the person doesn't get offended, can we just call anybody whatever name we want?
Well, no, but in this case. The context is he's 83 years old.
Again, Nick. Okay, fine. Then fine him. Suspend him a game or two.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I'll use a theory based off of what you just said. So if someone, as Nick disappeared for whatever reason, okay, I'll continue while he comes back. and gone.
No,
Okay.
that was me. I pressed the button. Sorry.
Oh, okay. My point would be that if you called someone the N-word during a broadcast, would that be the same thing as if the person said, I didn't get offended? Would that be the same thing?
I mean, I guess not.
So that's my point. Like,
But
that's what I was saying.
but again, but then I know comparing apples and oranges, but then at that point, but then I can't help but keep thinking of the Deshaun thing, that there are people whose punishments are not going to fit the crime. And I think if that's the case, you can't go too harsh on Jim Kaat at that point.
Obviously. Well, again, I agree with you. Deshaun Watson is a whole issue by himself in every way, shape, or form. That one's never going to get beat. Like, you're going to see in the record books.
But that's the thing. You're also talking about other people with an outcry. I haven't really seen that. I've seen a lot of people defend Jim Kaat and saying you can't, that it's kind of ridiculous to want him to take the full blunt of punishment.
Exactly.
Perfect timing.
I don't know.
Second, boys, I got to take this.
Oh, okay. Okay. That
phone call coming in.
Watch. It's Deshaun Watson's lawyer saying we're talking too bad about him.
I mean, I would not be surprised if Nick Federa and I next get the block treatment.
Oh, I see. I wasn't even ready for that because I didn't even know.
You were not on the game today.
I was not there. I was not ready.
Black.
All right. Talk about Max Scherzer.
Talk about taking a bite out of the Big Apple.
Talking about something that's not a story in his own words. So this is a story about a non-story. This is I can't do that because otherwise I'm going to get copyrighted.
Yeah, don't. Well, I didn't know what you were going to do.
I was going to go for what's it called? Absolutely, Story of a Girl.
That would have been good.
This is the story of a dog.
So I do have one thing to add to that.
What?
I don't blame the dog because a dog is a dog. I mean, if the dog, apparently, according to what he said in his Twitter message, apparently the dog had hurt itself, and dogs like that tend to snap when they it's what are you blaming the dog for? It really does. It's like all of a sudden you Mets fans all of a sudden want to start kicking puppies. I mean, come on.
You know what the problem is? This happened right after the Francisco Lindor story where he slammed his.
Oh, we'll get to that one in just a second.
So I think this like Mets fans were just like, here we go again, same old Mets.
Here comes the freak injury, and now here's the part where Pete Alonso gets crushed by a piano.
No, you know what? I'm on my game now.
S-O-M, same old Mets.
Same old Mets. Same old Mets. Yes, it's the circus that's called the New York Mets, but it's now unintentional injuries. Step right up and get your unintentional injuries.
Now it's not
stepping
sad.
on Legos. We've got stepping on glass. We've got putting your face in a fan. All the things that you don't intend to do to yourself. We've got it here, folks.
See, now it's not sad like the Knicks or anything like that, or the Giants or Jets. Now this is just funny.
Yeah, now it's because there's certain if Pete Alonso gets hit with an anvil, then it's funny.
No. Pete Alonso's nickname's the polar bear. He needs to get attacked by a polar bear.
Oh yeah, I was about to.
Or Jeff McNeil slips on a banana peel. It rhymes.
Actually, I was going to say that Pete Alonso should get attacked by a glacier, but that would make total sense. But my point was, this story is a non-story. I think the other story that's below this one is the more story.
We'll get to that. Francisco Lindor missed a game because, well, Nick Federa, you did a minute on this.
Yes, I did do a minute on it where he slammed his fingers into a hotel door. And for those of you who have not had the unfortunate luck of slamming their fingers into a car door, while at a Broadway show, thus having to spend the next 3.5 hours nursing them in a cup of ice. Let me tell you, folks, it ain't fun.
Oh, I've slammed my finger in a car door. It's not fun. It's really not.
I
The,
mean,
the problem is, what hooker was Francisco Lindor hiding in his room?
you will. Hey, I wasn't gonna go there, but hey,
I wasn't gonna go there. No, what I was gonna go with was he probably was talking to somebody. He had his the upper half of his body out talking to somebody, and he was telling them that they're number one and sliding his hand back.
No, I think it was, we're number one.
He was slowly coming back in it, and
ouch.
number one, all right.
Or the teen and rookie of the year.
I think my story's more interesting. I wanted to.
That story, that scene in Rookie of the Year when Brickman gets stuck between the two hotel doors.
Yep. I think.
And then once he's finally released from there, he just collapses.
Oh, come on. I think my story's more interesting. I'd rather know the hooker that was in his room instead. Come on.
All right.
We all know.
Now we're gonna get sued.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the sad part. You know what? We're going to get fired just like Joe Girardi and Joe Maddon were. Double Joe, double cup of Joe, double
cup of misery is what it is. So,
which Joe do we want to start with? Because Joe Maddon was more recent, but
Joe Maddon just got fired yesterday. So this is a late addition to the lineup because Buster only tweeted out earlier in the day that.
Well, the Angels tweeted it out.
Buster only tweeted out earlier in the day that the Angels have been having serious discussions about changing manager. And 15 minutes later, the Angels put out a tweet saying they gave Joe the old heave-ho.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Which I'm not entirely inclined to blame Joe Maddon for. I mean, his ass is not the one out there on the field. I
am. I would blame him. I'd blame him because this team's not playing well. 12 losses in a row?
I mean, look at the way... again, this is why I say the Angels really don't deserve players like Trout and Ohtani because you're wasting them. You're wasting the prime years
the sad part,
of the most talented players in a century.
Well, the sad part is 2 weeks ago, we weren't even thinking about this because the Angels were, what, 20, just over, they were 22-17. I know maybe not great.
They were first in the AL West.
Right.
Yeah.
And now they're
still honestly, they're still second or third. It's not like it's disaster.
I think
the division's not lost.
I think they're 27-28 or something now. 29. So as we're doing this, but you know what? I think their pitching is a problem, and that includes Noah Syndergaard, also, who thinks that he's God's gift to baseball. But that's a whole different issue for another day.
But as soon as they went into Yankee Stadium, it's like,
well, that's the thing. You think about the Angels' performance in Yankee Stadium. It was kind of shocking. Now the Yankees are technically the best team in baseball at the moment, but I'm just thinking, the game Ohtani pitches, I'm thinking, okay, Ohtani's pitch here, he's the big star, and Yankees just lit him up.
Yeah, and that was like, wait, are we talking about the exact same Shohei Ohtani? It's like, who are you and what have you done with Ohtani?
No, you want to know what happened since he's gotten hurt? He's not the same player.
I mean, I'm not one to start speculating here.
No, you know what?
Kidding. I do that all the time.
It also proves my point that the two-way player does not work.
Because the last season and a half now, we've been just in awe with Ohtani.
No, but I'm saying
eventually the last month and a half. Would you say a month and a half this is going on?
Yeah,
but I was going to say,
counting the last month and a half, I'd say the experiment had gone pretty well.
No, but I'm going to say is eventually the two-way player was going to catch up with whoever's doing it. Is my point.
Well, Nick Videra's arguments about Joe Maddon with the Angels that he doesn't necessarily blame him for all their faults. That's kind of my feeling with the 22 and 29 Philadelphia Phillies. And now Phillies have won a couple of games since Girardi's firing. And I will admit, as much as I have defended Joe Girardi on this show, well, even on our old show, that the style wasn't working and he made some some decisions. But there was a key. You guys listened to my minute on it, right?
Yeah.
There's a key stat. Only one player on the Phillies has an on-base percentage of over 300.
You ready for something ironic, though? So Joe Girardi, after obviously he left the Yankees and looking for a new job, if you look at the way the Phillies are currently constructed with Harper and Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins and all those guys, they're Yankees National League, the way they're made up.
They're
No, old-fashioned. Old-fashioned,
I'd say.
Yeah,
where wait a minute, where all they care about is power.
Yeah, home run or bust. It
Well,
was the
well,
Yankees before this year.
I was gonna say. Well, I mean, it wasn't too long ago we were criticizing the Yankees for that.
For
But
being
this
for
year,
being-
this
yeah.
year something has seemed to click with the Yankees.
So far, fingers
So
crossed.
far,
Things seem to be working out
but
pretty damn well.
But you can't have the fourth highest payroll in all of baseball and did all the spending like the Phillies have done in the last couple of off seasons,
And have nothing to show for
and have Bryce Harper be your only player with an on-base percentage of over 300. And then you talk about Hoskins and all the young guys in the infield. What is going on with all the hits they're letting up?
Also, what the hell is with the bullpen construction? What kind of bullpen do you think you?
I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna give a take here. I think and the fact that Girardi's gone, but you know who's taking over now for the rest of the season?
Yeah,
Thompson.
Rob Thompson, yeah.
Who has been his right hand man for how long? You think something's gonna change?
No. It's the same
No.
philosophy.
What this
What's
was?
good for the
I'll
goose is good for the gander.
You know what I think this was? This was a shock to the players, saying it's time to step your games up. And I'll be honest with you. I know Sam Folds only in his second season as a general manager.
Terrible.
Second season, I don't think he's gonna make it to his third season as a GM. I think he.
Oh, I don't either.
He's been a dumpster fire as a general manager.
Which
I think he goes, and then it's gonna be up to the new general manager to decide. What the fate of the team is, and if they go in a certain direction, do you guys see Bryce Harper potentially being on the market?
I could imagine if things don't improve, if they continue to swirl around the toilet bowl, I could even see that the Phillies might be sellers this year.
Absolutely not. No way. So you look at two of the biggest contracts in baseball on two teams.
What the Nationals did.
Different situation.
Really?
Yes. Because Bryce Harper is under a 13-year contract with over $330 million that they have to pay out. No one is taking it. Have you learned from the situations over the last couple of years that 10-year contracts don't work? Look what happened to Albert Pujols in the last 3 years of his contract.
Which is why I'm saying, regardless of what happens now, regardless of what happens with our boy Judge at the end of the season, Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, they are great players. I love both of them. They'll probably be in the Hall of Fame one day, but they will also go down. I think I've kind of hinted at this before, weeks earlier, like on an episode where Johnny was here. They also might go down as two players who may have potentially spoiled the game by taking all this money and all these long-term years, and their teams do nothing.
Yeah, but one person does not a team make, though, no matter how talented you are.
You ready for Nick's delusional statement of this week?
Oh, no, I can't take another. I
think you'll partially follow my logic, though.
I don't want to hear it. I don't.
Cover your ears. I'll translate.
Okay. I want to hear Nick Federa's translation after you say it, Nick.
The Yankees should not sign Aaron Judge to a long-term contract.
You're fucking nuts.
Okay, wait. I need the translation.
The translation? He's fucking nuts. That's the translation.
Oh, no. Just hit me with it then.
He doesn't think that they should re-sign Aaron Judge.
No, I didn't say. Wait. You misconstrued my statement. That's not what I said.
You just said that.
No, I said first of all, you didn't say the statement the way I said it. I said the Yankees should not sign Aaron Judge to a long-term contract is what I said. I didn't say they shouldn't re-sign him. I said the Yankees should not sign him to a long-term contract.
The problem with that one is that with the case that Judge is making right now, there is going to be a team, and I think there's two potential teams out there, like Passon has said, that will be willing to give Judge all that money in all those years.
Okay, but there's a difference between saying not to resign and saying not to sign to a long-term contract, Nick.
But the problem, Nick, is if you don't give him that deal at the rate that he's going, he may not sign.
So if the Mets are dumb enough to give him 10 years, $400 million, I let him walk.
And here's the problem. But Nick, here's the other problem with that. You just lost. The Yankees lost a bit the bargaining piece because of the Nationals general manager making the statement not too long ago that they're not going to sell Juan Soto, which
Juan Soto was going to want more than Aaron Judge anyway.
Because he's younger than Aaron Judge.
He is a what's his name client.
He's
a Boris client.
BS. But my thing is, them looking at potential outfielders like Soto was always going to be a bargaining chip. The fact that now they lose a step, now Judge has the say at this point.
The only difference is Aaron Judge has a no-name agent. I just looked it up. I don't even know who this person is.
Okay, can I toss a question back at you, Nick? Then is this then the year the Yankees have to go all in? Is this must-win World Series if that's the case?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, they have to win this year. This is their best team in years. They need to win. They need to convert.
I'm still crossing my fingers because, again, as a Yankee fan, you're like Mets fans in that you're always waiting for the shoe to drop.
I just want to make it clear again that what I said is that they should sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal as opposed to a 10 or 12-year deal.
Is that what you're saying?
No, that's a 1 year deal with an opt for one. No.
Let's move on. If we're going to talk Yankees then, and we're talking outfielder situation, we have to bring up this next story. Miguel Andujar has requested a trade out of New York. Now, Miguel Andujar, if you remember, once upon a time in 2018, was a breakout star. Ends up second, controversially second in the.
I argued with people for months after people told me that Shohei was the rookie of the year.
I remember that.
Yeah, but then he kind of fell off a bit. He had injuries, poor performances, the rise of Gio Urshela, and he kind of took the back seat.
Which I'm still angry about that too. But yeah.
But then he also, since the pandemic season, had started to convert into an outfielder. But now he has also spent a lot of time in AAA. And he actually was called up for a couple of stints. His second stint with the Major League just ended because Stanton and Donaldson just came off of the IL. And reports surfaced that Andujar told Aaron Boone prior to the announcement of his demotion, if he was going to go back, then he wants a trade out of New York.
This is not the first time. This is not the first.
It's not the first time. And you know what? I'd say the only thing. And what's probably going to screw Andujar more, I think he would get the playing time in AAA, but what's his name is also back.
What, Gallo?
No.
Oh, Donaldson?
In AAA. Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Hang on. You guys continue to talk.
You took a Florial? You talking about?
Keep talking.
Thank you.
I understand this. I understand the impulse, the sentiment. And I really do, because if he truly does believe, and I feel bad for him, because if he truly does believe that he can contribute, and they're jammed up here, they're unwilling to give him.
Oh, sorry, Tim LaCastro.
Yeah.
LaCastro's back, and he's going to get playing. So he wants a place where he's going to get more playing time. Now, you mentioned Gallo, and that's going to be the argument that some Yankee fans are going to have. How can you justify demoting Andujar when Gallo is batting Chris Davis-like numbers? Let's be real.
I was going to say Gallo is actually a replica of Ryan Howard, essentially, where he the same batting stance. All he does is hit the ball out of the park and strike out, and then he gets booed.
I mean, I don't see the Yankees granting that request. Unless they feel like they can actually get something.
Nick, they have no choice. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
I mean, so
my question is, you bring up Hicks. My question is, now I think what's going to happen, because I know people want Gallo off the team, people want Hicks off the team. and I've been stewing on it for a little bit. I was listening to Michael Kay the other day. For something like that to happen, I think the Yankees, especially with how they're in control right now, need to wait till trade deadline, and then maybe you give up a Miggy or Clark Schmidt or Michael King. As much as those pain for me to say, to get a team to take on Aaron Hicks's contract.
Here's the problem. So I'm looking at the Hicks contract, and he's basically on tap all the way through 2025. So you have another 3 years at least.
I think there is a team that will take Hicks. I think there is a team that will take Allo.
Actually, let me take that back. I made a mistake. He's not a free agent until 2027.
I think, again, either way, though, I think there's a team that will take either of them. Especially if you offer something as bad as it sounds, a Schmidt or a King to sweeten the pot.
But he has no value, so you can't just throwing other people.
I think he does. I think, you know what? I think Gallo and Hicks are going to go down as players who couldn't cut it in New York. And I hated that Hicks contract the minute it was given.
Yeah, but Hicks has actually had some moments over the years. Like,
he's had some moments, but Nick, what do we say sometimes about baseball? What have you done for me lately?
Well, yes, but Hicks has zero value right now. Zero. He's not hitting the ball.
But I'm sure if you can find a trade partner for Gallo. Oh, but that might be easier because Gallo's going to be done at the end of the year.
The only value for Gallo is that he's a lefty. That's it. Because lefty batters are hard to come by with power.
But this is also why, going back to what we were talking about with Judge, the fact that Gallo hasn't worked out and you're going to be losing him. Hicks hasn't been working out. Soto thing's not working. I don't think the Yankees have the ultimate say at that point. I think right now Judge is in control of those potential negotiations.
Yeah, and I think they're dummies if they sign a 10-year, like $37 million a year.
Okay, Nick, but then guess what, Nick? Anything less than World Series is an NF in your book at that point.
Well,
that's what you're telling me.
I said for this year because they have him under contract.
I know, but then you're telling me then if they lose the World Series, if they win the pennant but lose the World Series, and they re-sign Judge. No, but you're telling me then. I'm trying to use your logic, Nick Morganson. Then you would have to make this Yankees year an F because they need.
Oh no, I agree with you. It would be an F if they lost the World Series this year. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that I
know. I'm using your logic. I'm saying that's what you're telling me.
Yes, absolutely. It would be an F if they lost this year because they're the best team in baseball right now. So are the Mets.
Nick, it's June.
Well, both New York teams are the best team in baseball. I don't see them slowing down 100%.
But there's still a lot of baseball to be played, and we must cross our fingers, cross our toes, cross any other limbs that can be crossed, and hope that things can work out.
We have to make sure, gentlemen, we know the rules of this game.
Oh God,
yes, we do, because you know why we have to? Because they don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another edition of good old Rob Manfred.
Yes,
Rob Manfred is going to play a role in this story. Trust me.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
He was going to stick his head up. He was going to stick his head out of the ground like a groundhog. Yeah, or like a prairie dog at least once. He was going to go.
Wait,
hey, guys.
I'll give you a choice. Which one do you want for the good old Rob Manfred here? Which sound effect do you want?
How about Dr. Phil?
Oh, Dr. Phil. Okay, I can do that.
I hate you. Get the out of here.
I was going to say, did you want the circus or did you want the curb? Because that's where we're going here.
No, I think the Dr. Phil trumps it. We've already used those two. I think we need the Dr. Phil.
Well, this episode has been full of clown shows already. So,
well, we're gonna have one more because let me explain. So the Mets and Dodgers were playing a game. The Mets lead was 5 runs, and the Dodgers decided, hey, Dave Roberts said, you know what? I don't want to exhaust my pitching, so let's have a little fun. Let's bring in, they bring in a position player to pitch. Buck Showalter, the genius that he is, and I don't say sarcastically. I mean, I advocate it. He is a genius of this sport.
He's a really good manager, really.
Goes up to the umps and says, they can't do that. The lead isn't 6 runs, and the umpires are confused. they actually have to go to New York. And as it turns out, this flew under a lot of people's radars. Even including in the media. In those rules that were being passed in the coronavirus shortened season of 2020 that are now starting to come into effect, i.e. the DH with the National League, the shift next season, etc. There was one passed in 2020 that got pushed back till this season. This is the first season that's in effect, and nobody seemed to notice that for a position player to come in and pitch a game or pitch at all in a game, the lead must be 6 runs. So technically, because it was 5, it was an illegal move. And as a result, the Dodgers could not pull that. So the Dodgers had to go to a different pitcher. And then you had Mets fans and some Mets media arguing, if that's the case, that emergency pitcher should have only gotten 8 pitches on the mound and not time to warm up in the bullpen like they got.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Wait a minute.
yeah, exactly. He was waiting for that one. But I do have to ask. I mean, I know that you gentlemen are well aware that I am not versed in the rules, so I did not know.
Oh, I learned it. I went and I actually.
We all learned it the hard way.
I didn't know. I didn't know that there was a 6 run. You had to be down by 6 runs before you could use a position player.
Nobody knew. We had to learn the
I
hard way.
have an excuse for not knowing, though. They don't.
Okay, so we did this on Game On, which came out yesterday now. That we covered this on the USA Today, from the USA Today. They did an article on this story, and basically the explanation was that after position players made 90 pitching appearances in 2019 and 75 in 2018, Major League Baseball, and the Players Association agreed to this rule prior to the 2020 season.
Wait, before or after Corona hit? If we know.
It doesn't say. Let me finish reading the rest of the point. So
okay.
They outlawed using position players as pitchers in games with a deficit of 5 runs or more. Okay? And then it says the rule was suspended the past 2 years amid concerns over pitcher injury.
I'm sorry, Nick. Before. I see an article in January 2020 detailing that.
So,
ladies and gentlemen,
go ahead.
I gotta do it again. This man is out to destroy baseball.
I'm sorry, I'm going to do it anyway.
Destroy fun.
Since you want to,
this man does not. Why is it that they don't know? Do they think that there's actually at the top of a mountain somewhere? At the top of a mountain somewhere, there's a cave where there's an old shriveled man with a beard down to here, and he's got an ancient dusty tome in front of him, and it's MLB rules written on it.
Well,
that's actually how it is. That you actually have to answer. You actually have to answer the Bridge Troll 3 question before I'll tell you what the rules are.
Well, you know what? Since you want to talk about crazy,
what is your name?
Well, we're gonna go.
What's your favorite color? What is the land speed of an unladen I don't know that.
Welcome to the circus that is Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball.
Oh God!
I love Monty Python and Holy Grail.
Welcome to Major League Baseball, where nothing can be fun, nothing can be done on a normal basis, and nothing is logical.
Who's he? He's the commissioner of baseball. How do you know? Because he done that shit all over him.
And you know what? I need to add more to good old Rob Manfred too, because since we're all shitting on Rob Manfred, let's just continue to shit on Rob Manfred. So, being Yankee fans, did you realize that 2 of the 3 Yankee games over the weekend were on streaming platforms only?
On Apple TV.
I know.
Peacock.
Well, no, one was on Peacock and one was on Apple TV. Okay, so Oh no, one was on Amazon.
No,
not
it
Apple.
was it was Apple because people were complaining that had Garrett Cole actually pitched the perfect game, it would have been
on Apple TV. Nobody could see it.
Nobody could see it, and I couldn't listen any further after the Michael K episode that I was mentioning. But they were talking about, could it be shown on Yankee Classics because Yes wouldn't have the right to it.
Well, technically, I would think the team would get rights to the games after.
But Yes would have to second-handedly get it from the team instead of having the pure broadcasting.
In technicality, you're still airing games off licensed teams. So technically, the Yankees played the Classics from the Fox games in the World Series on Yankee Classics. So I guess technically now Fox owns a percentage of Yes. So I guess they're allowed to do that. But
you get my point, though. You get my point. I get yours. Baseball's just being killed.
And you know what? I'm gonna let Nick tell us all.
Congratulations, dickweeds.
Because this is where baseball is heading. Down the rabbit hole. They're digging a hole so deep that I think I see China on the other side.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried, but
actually, you know what? I'll go one step better. They're probably in talks with a streaming platform in China, trying to get that streaming platform as well.
So they just start hosting World Series games. It's just they're broadcasting the World Series, but no one knows about it.
It's going to be exclusively in China. That's it. That's all where it's going to be.
Wait, no. If we're going to be shitting on Rob Manfred this much, we cannot end this segment without something. I need to have a say. I need to make a statement. I need to be heard. My point still stands.
I mean, you're right. When you're right, you're right. I mean, I know good ideas when I see them, and that's a good idea right there.
And you know what? Baseball is the worst professional sport in the world right now. I'm willing to say that. I'm willing to say that. Go ahead. I hope we get clipped on that on TikTok.
You know what you just spent 30 minutes at the top of this show talking about?
What? What?
Football!
I understand, but baseball has the worst commissioner in the sport. They don't
say if you're gonna say that it's because of one man.
If you're going to, that's fair. Because if you're going to make that statement, you could at least put evidence behind the fact that Rob Manfred wouldn't know his ass from his elbow with an anatomy chart.
You know what? Wow! Whoa! Wow, Nick. I was going to say, though, that at least with Roger Goodell, like, even though there's some streaming platforms, Amazon is really technically the only one they have as an exclusive streaming platform. But that at least makes sense because they've already been working with the NFL. You don't see them putting exclusive games, except for maybe ESPN Plus, which I don't like either. But you don't see them like barking it down your throat.
But at least with ESPN Plus, like, they don't take away, like the NHL sometimes will be forced to take away games to have them exclusively on ESPN Plus. You don't get that because baseball still has the local and regional sports network. So us Yankee fans, we can one night, this summer, watch a game on, the Yankees, say Yankees, Red Sox. And then afterwards, if we say, I'm not tired, I'm not going to go to bed, I still on a baseball kick, 10 o'clock, we can turn on ESPN Plus and maybe there's a Mariners-Angels game, So in some ways, ESPN Plus can be great.
The one thing I worry about, and I know we're way over time here, but my point is that if we find out that a Yankee-Red Sox game ends up on an exclusive platform...
There's going to be one on Amazon Prime.
Why?
I think you just ruined his night.
I was looking randomly at the schedule for, like, the rest of the year. There's one or two that are on Prime Video.
Rob Manfred.
Now tell us what you're going to do. Now you have to.
No, my point was going to be that if I found out a Yankee Red Sox game or any major game, I'm going to go to Rob Manfred's offices with pitchforks in New York and destroy it.
I mean, well, now we have to hold you to it. When is that game?
Hang on, I got to look at the schedule. The Yankees Red Sox for the rest of 2022.
I think I think Rob Manfred is quite handily the dumbest commissioner in all of sports.
You're not wrong, especially in a North American sports market that includes Gary Bettman and Roger Goodell. I mean,
You ready for me to go crazy here? I think Gary Bettman is smarter than Rob Manfred.
let's not say things we can't take back.
No. I mean it. I absolutely mean it. I think Gary Bettman has more common sense than Rob Manfred.
Let's see. Let's see here. Having a look. No.
We're having
I
We're
gotta
having
have
fun.
a look.
We're having fun shitting on Rob Manfred on this episode, aren't we?
Yeah, way too much.
We've missed baseball being in the top headlines, have we?
Exactly.
And
I feel
it
like-
might be okay. Oh, because I'm on the Red Sox broadcast schedule. Because I was gonna say the Red Sox says there's still Red Sox Yankee games on NESN, but
And that's yeah.
on NESN, yeah, good old NESN. But if you look at the Yankees broadcast schedule on MLB, I was looking on the score before, and it said there were 2 Yankee Red Sox games that were going to be taking place on Prime Video exclusively.
What a mistake. That just shows you the ignorance of Rob Manfred. Well, you know what?
So
Unless are they not exclusive broadcasts?
They could not be.
Not
but-
well.
Friday, because Friday, July 8th, Yankees at Red Sox at Fenway. Because I saw that one as being on NESN, but TV it says Amazon Prime. But let's face it, guys, us in the local New York area, all these Amazon Prime games would be games that they are on WPIX on Channel 11.
Yeah, and at least you can still watch it if you don't have a Prime subscription.
Mm-hmm.
At least you can still watch the Apple TV subscription free of charge. If you the Apple TV broadcast, if you don't have a subscription, if you live in the New York area, you can still watch it, which is a good thing. But
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's good. Okay.
you can. However,
How many people are going to go through the...
how many people
Hurdles.
are going to jump through those hoops is my question.
Well, let me ask you another thing about this.
I mean, when baseball's average age is like 78 at this point.
Yes.
no.
You,
Wait a
have
minute.
a lot of confused 80-year-olds yelling at the remote as if it can hear them.
Like,
God
damn it!
damn you! I said I wasn't talking to Alexa.
No,
Where's the
but
goddamn clicker?
I just don't.
Why did Vince McMahon all of a sudden make an appearance on this show?
my point is that once the pandemic, because we're still dealing with some parts of the pandemic partially, but think about when everyone's going out on Friday nights. You really think Apple thought that through in an intelligent way? Let's have a doubleheader on Friday night on Apple Plus,
I was going to say, you mean the Friday night death slot
because they can't show it in the bars.
where TV shows go to die?
Wait a minute. Are the bars going to pay for Apple TV to put the games on Friday night?
No.
Okay,
I mean, your local chains might. You might see something in like a Buffalo Wild Wings or a TGI Fridays or
Nick, save your breath. They're not paying for it. They're not paying for it. They would rather have the TV, the cable that they pay for, where most of the games are going to be on, whether it's an ESPN or a Fox or a CBS, depending on what sport you're watching.
All right, guys, we've talked way too much about Rob Manfred and baseball being destroyed. We could spend 2 whole shows on it.
we could spend 2 whole hours.
Just wait until we get to the All-Star break. We might do a special just on where baseball is. You never know.
God. Johnny and Hank, CC.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they were the one who came up with the idea.
Oh.
good. You know what? At that point, that's just poking the bear. Because if you're giving us an opportunity to do it, stop giving us opportunities.
Okay,
Well-
one last story to briefly talk about. One last story. Canadian World Cup men's team. They were about to play a World Cup warm-up game recently, but ended up not taking the field due to compensation issues. Now, the reason we bring this up is because very recently we saw something here on the U.S. Men's and women's team in which we had pay equality finally.
Yeah, well, we all knew it was going to come back. We all knew it was going to come back to bite them, as I get that in there.
Right in the cash register. But, I mean, the disparity had to have been pretty vast for them to just refuse
for the men's team. Like, look, this is not the women's
team to say,
this is not the women's team protesting their own pay. This is the men's team protesting women's pay.
I mean, what exactly were they doing? Were they serving Hydrox cookies in the clubhouse after the game? were they actually making you dry yourself with paper towels? I mean, Jesus. I've heard of cheapskates, but this takes a taco.
Well, when this story is over, I have another interesting headline. I just saw.
All right. So we got. All right. So what's okay? You have one last headline.
Well, it has to do with the Yankees and Joey Gallo, who decided to speak up about his struggles.
I just saw that.
And Joey Gallo doesn't realize that maybe he should shut his mouth when he's in New York.
I saw he said something on FAN. What did he say?
So he said they wouldn't step in the box and do it. I'll tell you that much.
Wait, you are telling me that if a Major League Baseball fan got the opportunity to partake in an actual Major League Baseball at bat, that they wouldn't take it? Joey, what are you smoking?
I mean...
Oh, he's saying that Gallo, he was sounding off on those who criticize him for not hitting against the shift. That's what that statement was for.
Well, the shift shouldn't be there in the first place. So
first of all,
Joey Gallo...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, but we've seen Joey. Joey can hit against the shift. We've seen him hit against the shift. We've seen him bunt against the...
Well, Johnny...
I have no words.
Johnny Montalbano from Game On made a great statement on Twitter based off that FAN tweet, saying Joey Gallo does not get it, nor do hitters and hitting coaches, nor does MLB by banning the shift starting next season.
Gotta have one more kick in the ball.
And the last one he said was another reminder of the result and damage the MLB lockout caused.
Well,
I agree.
We found out that the 6-run thing was before the pandemic and before the lockout. So
which is even worse. Which is even worse than no one knew the rule. They had to call the replay center. Oh God, why do I sound like Seinfeld when I'm talking right now? Why? Why?
Somebody stop him. Somebody end this episode.
Okay, we're ending. Thank you to our sponsor once again. Thank you to Knack with the all new Knack Sling Bag. Remember, go click the link in our description. Order your Knack Sling Bag. Free shipping. Who doesn't want free shipping?
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to pay for shipping?
Hey, I've seen some of those bags cost like $15 or $20 in shipping. Not Knack, other companies where they charge $15 or $20.
And Knack is saying, "Here's a brand new product, and we'll give it to you, and you don't have to pay an extra dime. We'll ship it anywhere. There's no free shipping. I mean, there's free shipping."
And just a little teaser: you might see bags from us in a couple weeks.
We're gonna show them off.
Yeah, to show off, but yeah, we'll get to that. But thank you to Knack for helping us out on that end. So
Knack always has our back.
Yeah, they always did. Knack always has your back. Yes, thank you. That's the new slogan in the ad copy. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Now I am cataloging that one. Thank you so much.
Great. Now it's going to show up.
I want royalties. Nick.
Wait, Nick, that's going to show up in the Beyond the Bench ad now.
Every time I say it, I'll pay you a quarter.
Jesus.
Hey, you didn't make the English language rhyme.
Okay. Okay. Make sure to follow us across all our social media accounts at ETB Sports. You see them scrolling across on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure to follow all the ETB network accounts: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the TikTok. Don't forget the TikTok.
Yeah, so old geezers are on TikTok, and you know what? Stop by, give us a like, maybe just sit down, have a glass of water. Come on, we got cake. You haven't eaten anything in weeks.
And we'll show more of Nick's crazy ideas.
Hey, my rant on TikTok, by the way, of Colin Kaepernick, 1,150 views.
And people look at you like you have 5 heads.
See, people are enabling you. That's the problem.
That's why I keep doing it.
Nobody told me to stop.
Okay. Also, make sure on YouTube you hit that subscribe button. Give us a like and hit the subscribe button. When you hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get all of our shows. Empty the Bench, Beyond the Bench, Living Life, The Hearst Show, Game On.
Here Now the News.
Here Now the News, Big Bad Broadcasts. And a couple of shows that are making their way over.
Yes, there's 2 starting the first week of July. I can actually confirm that.
Cool.
So there's more to come.
All right, but that's going to do it for us.
If you're not careful, Nick and I might be doing TikTok dances next.
Never.
For Nick Morganson and Nick Federa, I'm Tom Albano. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.